Number 3 of these yamas is asteya. Asteya means not stealing. And this stealing is not just physical again, right? Intellectual property rights. Downloading music that's not supposed to be downloaded. Downloading movies that are not supposed to be downloaded. Just recently, 9 websites were shut down by the US government for piracy. Yeah, they have those commercials before you watch a DVD, right? You wouldn't steal a car, you wouldn't steal a video game, but when it comes to movies or music, what difference does it make? If I steal credit for something that you do, if I assume credit for that, isn't that stealing? Why does stealing just have to be physical? So asteya means non-stealing. Then number 4 is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya. Which means none of you can practice these yamas. So you're wasting your time, so stop writing. Whoa, you're all taking me way too seriously. The word brahmacharya, we have to understand correctly too. The word brahmacharya means Brahmani charati iti brahmacharya. Brahmani charati iti brahmacharya. Brahmani means Brahmani charati. Charati means to move. Move towards what? Brahmani. Brahman. Anyone who's moving towards Brahman is a brahmacharya. And what is Brahman? It is Om. And what is Om? Joy. So anyone who's moving towards joy is essentially a brahmacharya. There are formal ways to be a brahmacharya, there are informal ways to be a brahmacharya. But this is the message, is to seek that joy sincerely. And the 5th of the yamas, and my favorite, is aparigraha. Aparigraha, which means non-covetousness, not hoarding, not having anything that you don't need. These group discussions that are given are not random, let's just talk about this today, let's talk about that today. They all fall in line to where these discourses are going. So the non-hoardance, even though that's not a real word, anything that you don't need. So those are the 5 yamas. Those are restraints. There are ways to restrain our behavior to purify the mind. Now the 5 niyamas. Number 1 is very important. Shaucha. Shaucha means cleanliness. I'm not going to ask how many people bathed this morning, because that would be embarrassing. So, shaucha is cleanliness. Not just of the body. One's desk, one's bed, one's room, the way one puts their shoes away, one's inbox, etc., etc., etc. It shocks me when I see people who have thousands of emails in their inbox. Like, it hurts my heart to see that. Because I get overwhelmed when I have more than 50. Because it's, that's part of our workplace. Everything should be maintained. And this was well demonstrated in Peaceful Warrior, Vineet's favorite movie. Because every time I say it, he smiles. And after he smiles, Sapriya smiles too. When Dan Millman goes to eat with Socrates, and you see Socrates puts his shoes nicely. And then Dan takes off his shoes, and they're all just all over the place. And then they both start eating. And they're using chopsticks, and they're eating a bowl of fruits. And the guru is slowly eating each fruit, and chewing on it, and enjoying it. And Dan starts using his hands. And he starts just swallowing everything down. And the guru says, slow down, you might taste something. That's one of those adult jokes again, right? But then more importantly, then the guru says, you should be more disciplined in your eating. And then Dan says, you sure have a lot of rules. And he says, they're not rules, they're lessons I've learned in life. As I mentioned yesterday, the people who have walked the path, they know things that you and I don't know. You and I may not know until we get there too. And then Dan says, I am disciplined. I'm a gymnast. And then the guru says, you're disciplined in gymnastics. I'm disciplined in everything I do. In living life. The way I talk, the way I walk, the way I eat, the way I take my shoes off. There's discipline in everything. So the shaucha is not just cleanliness, wearing deodorant and using shampoo. I was surprised to see shampoo on that circle. I felt bad for myself. I use shampoo. But then I was like, okay, they were wrong. So Shaucha is not just purity of the body. Shaucha is of our possessions, our organization, all of those matters. Then, now my favorite niyama is Santosha. Very nice name. For girls and boys, Santosh and Santosha, as well as Nachiketas and Nachiketa. Okay, so 2 names that I'm giving to everyone. Santosh means contentment. Today we talked about wants and needs. Santosh means, wanting what you need is santosh. I'll put it very simply. Wanting what you need is contentment. Rather than needing what we want, this is how we go about playing our lives. I'm going to use that in an e-vichara. Wanting what we need is santosha, contentment. Number 3 is tapas. Tapas means to burn. To burn what? To burn our vasas. To burn our impurities, our ignorance, our fear, our wants, our desires. To burn all of that away. That's tapas. And now when we think of tapas, our mind goes to raga. He's standing with one leg on one leg. Or what we chant Mahamrityunjaya Jaya Mantra, or we chant about Lord Shiva, and everyone, goes, all the kids, Balavihara kids, start acting like Lord Shiva. I'll tell you what tapas is. There's a nice story about Swami Chinmayananda related to this. When Swami Chinmayananda was studying under Swami Tapovan Maharaj, this was in Uttarkashi. By show of hands, how many of you have been to Uttarkashi? So few. You should all go. It's a beautiful place. And right in front of Tapovan Kuti, Swami Tapovan Maharaj, there's a picture in the old hall. In the old hall, there's a picture of Swami Tapovan Maharaj, Badrinath, and Swami Chinmayananda, for those who don't know. And right in front of the Kutya, there's the Ganga. And it's far north, so it's not like in Delhi where the water is warm and dirty. It's clean and it's cold. And what Swami Chinmayananda saw was there's this one sadhu, and I say sadhu because he wore the garb of a sadhu, and he would go in the water up to his neck. Like I said, the water is cold. We went in May 2006, and it was so cold you still couldn't be there for a long period of time. And he would go there up to his neck and he would just remain there. So Swami Chinmayananda thought, this is what a spiritual person should do. They should be able to, endure that cold. So he tried to do that. One morning he went down to that same Ganga and he tried to do it. But he couldn't do it. He couldn't even get his legs into the water. So he came back. And he tried again, and he tried again, and he tried again. And he was very disillusioned, disheartened. He was disheartened by the fact he couldn't do this. So he's putting his stuff away because he's leaving Tapovan Kuti now. Because he feels he's not capable of doing this tapas. And Swami Tapovan Maharaj sees him and says, Chinmaya, where are you going? What's happening here? And he shows that sadhu that was in the water. And he says, I tried to do that. I should be able to do that. But I can't. So then what Swami Tapovan Maharaj said was, and that person's looking at you and saying, I can't do what you're doing. Day after day, waking up, studying the Vedas, studying Vedanta, studying Gita, reflecting on it, spending the whole day in seva. He's looking to you and saying he can't do that. What all of you are doing right now is tapas. It's July 3rd, it's a holiday weekend. We should be sleeping right now. We're getting ready for tomorrow. This is tapas. We came here for that self-development. So tapas is not just that physical burden that we put on ourselves. It's that discipline in here too. To engage oneself to be better. Number 4, swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means to study. Secular studies are automatic because it's illegal not to when you're young. And as you get older, then it's not wise not to study because all doors are closed then. In the year 2010, doors are closed for someone who doesn't have a degree to their name. The swadhyaya that's meant here It's those spiritual studies. Right? Upadesha Sara will end on July 5th. We will study Shloka 30. And then after we reach Shloka 30, what's the next Shloka we're going to read? Shloka 1. That way, we're reminded that after we finish a text, we have to go back and read it again. And when we get to 30, what do? Read one again. And just keep on reading. Every day, Swadhyaya. Upadesha Sara is 30 shlokas. So one day, in each month, you take up one shloka, you will have read it 12 times.